Evening, everyone, and thank you, Rob, for the invitation to Rubicon. I have to confess that this is a first for me, so we'll take it as it comes. I have written a few notes. If you don't find them relevant, we'll deal with it as we go along. And I suppose we talked about the cultural context, and my cultural context is probably local policy, local politics and local community. And I wrote down a few notes because I wasn't really quite sure, so I said go for it. And I thought I'd say a little bit about my path to politics, about city councillors, about Dublin City Council and its interaction with communities and volunteering, and how we can work together to make our world a better place, and just then a few thoughts on Good Friday. And I will be brief, even though that sounds long enough. I started off as a volunteer on many projects before I became a councillor. And the reason I entered politics was twofold. I cherish and want to nurture the fact that I live in a free and democratic country where I can express my opinion and my faith without fear of retribution to either myself or my family, especially in the context of my being a woman. And also I seem to have a natural wish in me to help others, and believe that being a Dublin City Councillor gives me an added dimension to do this. And everything I do in public life, including this busy year when I serve as Deputy Lord Mayor, I do with the support of a loving family, and know that I'm blessed in my family and friends. My children were in secondary school when I got involved in politics through the then leader, Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald. Garrett set the bar fairly high for all of us, and for me he was and remains the best of what a politician should be. When I finally stood for election, I got a lot of support, but also was let know anonymously that I was getting far too big for my boots. So these negative messages were only a small part of the challenges that were to come my way. And over the years, without any conscious consideration on my part, when major challenges arose along the way, a hymn began to repeat itself in my mind, and the words were, "Be not afraid, I go before you always." And this refrain is often with me as I ask for God's help to do the best I can in any situation. So what can a councillor do to make the world a better place? The role of a councillor is varied, but for me, the most important part of it is about helping people who for one reason or another at that time are not in a position to help themselves, or sometimes they're vulnerable and just need reassurance. Often just talking through a problem seems to help. Then at council meetings, proposals are put forward, debated, and at the end of the day, councillors individually or sometimes as a group must cast their vote. They must make a decision. Our meetings are held in public and are live on video, so we're accountable, like Twitter here, so we're accountable for the decisions. And one of my early projects was the Rathmines Information Centre, which is now the Pembroke Rathmines Community Partnership. It evolved from a grant that the Terranure Enterprise Centre got that I've been involved in all along to help address social needs in the area. And now the Information Centre is at the heart of many good things in Rathmines under the stewardship of the manager Tara and all the people involved, including social services, Dublin City Council and local volunteers. I think it's a very concrete example of successful collaboration between Dublin City Council and local community. And in its own way, the City Council does its best to make things better. Since I became a City Councillor, I see firsthand the involvement that the Council, in partnership with so many people and projects, plays in the life of our city. The Council provides and maintains the parks so adults and children alike can enjoy outdoor pursuits that are so good for the body, mind and indeed the soul. And even in the middle of the city, we can see in the parks the impact of the seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, each with its own beauty. The Dublin City Libraries are a great source of information and education and provide free internet services which are of particular assistance to our new Irish. At the moment, we're working hard to ensure that disabled people have access to all our services so that everybody gets an opportunity to follow their own interest. The Council provides water of the highest quality, one of the fundamentals of life, and I think it's only when there's a water shortage that we realise how important this service is. Dublin City Council works hard in partnership with the Garda Síochána, community representatives, City Council and others towards keeping our roads safe and our city free of crime so that citizens aren't afraid either in or outside their homes. They dispose of our waste and do their utmost to keep the cost as low as possible for those who have difficulty paying for the services. They also organise intercultural festivals, and I have been privileged to attend some of these and see how they facilitate other nationalities to share their cultures with us and for us to learn from one another. I believe that councillors are a bridge between the community and the City Council through action and communication and often fairly heated debate. But I take it as my job to listen to individual problems of people in my area and then to work with the relevant council officials to the best of my ability to find a solution. The City Council and the councillors work together with many voluntary organisations, constantly trying to make things better for citizens. And then we would ask, what does volunteer do? Well, this is European Year of Volunteer. And very many people say over and over again that volunteering enriches the giver as much as the receiver. And I have found that to be true. Dublin City Council welcomes the collaboration we have with volunteers from all over the city, including the Rathmines area. Earlier this year, we celebrated the opening of the Swan Leisure Centre. I don't know if many of you have used it, and the swimming pool. And that was a community-led initiative. So already the people of Rathmines have made huge input through the Rathmines Action Plan and the Rathmines Active Retirement Initiative. And just in concluding a few words, and in the context of Good Friday, I listened last Sunday to a very interesting homily on possible alternative motivations behind the actions of Judas Iscariot, who was described as having got bad press. And it caused me to reflect a bit deeper on people and their motivations and the judgment we might make of them. And I sometimes wonder to myself, if I had been in Pontius Pilate's shoes and had to make a decision as he had to do, what would I have done? Or if I was Peter, would I have had the courage to admit my relationship with Jesus? Peter denied him 3 times, but Jesus had chosen him, and look at the good work he went on to do. So I suppose the theme, be not afraid, I go before you always, can give you courage to keep trying. I welcome the Rubicon initiative and can assure you that Dublin City Council's door is always open through myself, any other councillors, or directly to the council. It's always open to help and work with you and others to improve our areas through working together. Thanks for listening.